And apparently one dude accidentally let slip, possibly, that there's a Street Fighter 6 open beta the end of this month.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be the same characters, though?
Probably, but there's some guy that did something with Capcom, and so he was talking about it on his Twitch in Japan. And he was like, and then he just said it. It's like and then of course, you know, the open test at the end of the month, and everybody's like, "There's an open test." He's like, "Yeah, they already announced it, right?" It's like, "No." It's like,
They did now.
But they still hadn't announced it.
Well, that's like, you know,
so if it's true, then that means we're probably getting their quarterly Street Fighter stream probably in the next week or two.
Yeah, because then they'll announce it.
Because then they'll announce it, and it'll probably be the next week.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get my fight stick this week or next. It's a custom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it has the keyboard and the arcade thing, and it's all custom colored. But I'm a little weary.
Which is banned from CPT play anyway, so.
Really?
You hadn't heard about that?
Is that what they were talking about? I don't understand,
because
I was so confused about.
People are going crazy.
It's banned
about
from what?
Capcom Cup. It's not going to allow.
They kept talking about a certain type thing that it does. What is it?
Basically, a stick without a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to use a fight stick, it has to be a stick on it. It can't be buttons.
What's how's that any different than a controller though?
They're saying there's just too much room to cheat, and
yeah, they're saying there's something about you can.
Cause see, yeah, you
can go back and forward at the same time, or you can go up and down at the same time.
Right. And sticks are supposed, and companies are supposed to program that out so that it can't be done, but then folks just go in there and fix it. So Capcom's just like, we aren't even going to deal with it. We don't want nobody accusing nobody else of cheating. You just can't use them.
Is that because I was very confused the way they were the announcement went and like how people were responding. I was like, I don't even, because they didn't say it that way. They said it was like you can't have
Evo part of Capcom Cup.
Probably any event that's gonna that you can get Capcom Pro Tour points at, they're not gonna allow them.
That's really dumb. Like I get what they're trying to do, but it's like
at the same time, it's like,
won't you just fix it in your game?
It's not something that can be fixed in the game. It's hardware based.
Oh,
yeah. It's like, hey, this is no fair. I can charge down and back and still move forward too. No. Now again, they put it on the folks that make the actual say sticks, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They put it on them to fix it on their end, but you know, I've got friends that know how to go in there and fix that real quick, and now they're cheating.
I'll say I would never use it for that.
Or what some folks would consider cheating.
No, that's cheating.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
So
especially if it's in the hardware designer is taking it out and you are going in and modifying, like it's a modded controller at that point.
Yeah. And you know, there's all kinds of controller rules in fighting games that's been there forever, but no one really enforces them.
That's
until finally somebody, because I remember at Evo, was it 2019? I remember there was kind of a little of a hubbub there because this guy had been beating everybody, and there's like, man, his movement is just unreal and stuff. And finally, somebody just raised their hand. Can you check his pad? And he had all kinds of macros and stuff saved into his pad, but no one actually thought to get somebody to check it. So he was like, well, nobody's going to check. If I'm cheating, I'm cheating. and it worked until he finally got caught.
They asked for forgiveness instead of permission.
Exactly. And he finally got caught, and he was they DQ'd all of his games. And so, but I mean, it happens a lot. When Derek won, let's see, he got to top 8 at final round, and then he won CEO. But I was at the final round when he beat Filipino champ and Justin Wong. And before then he beat what was that guy's name? Neo. And Neo was mad because he lost. You know, he's a pro player and he was supposed to win, whatever. So he was just mad because he lost. I mean, the second the match was over, he got up screaming at Derek, "You think you're so good, but you're all tricks and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah." After that,
you.
exactly.
Tricks off of kids.
After that, he beat what was the I forgot the dude's name. Is from Arizona, I think. But he accused Derek of cheating. But that was because he didn't understand the game. So Derek in that he usually played with one particular team, but in this match he switched his team up and he played with MODOK. And you know he has that smart bomb attack that if you get hit by it makes your controls back and forth. So up is down and forward is back and stuff like that. So he kept hitting him with that bomb. And he obviously didn't know that was a thing in the game. Now, Derek had extra buttons on his stick. He had 2 extra buttons. One was for up back and one was for up forward. He had used this thing at Evo in the years earlier. Every time he went to a big event like that, he always asked, "Hey, this is my stick. This is what these 2 buttons are. Is this okay?" And everybody go, "Yeah, okay." But not until that guy complained, it's like, "Hey, I think he's cheating. He's got those extra buttons. I couldn't control anything. He locked me out of my game." And we were all like, "Dude, that's a move in the game. You kept getting hit by the smart bomb." Like, what?
Nah,
yeah.
There's no way that my controllers messed up like that. My controllers never messed up like
it's
that.
It's a move in the game. But between Neo and him, and then when he beat Filipino champ, who was also pissed.
Yeah, but he's also like the source of sore losers.
Yeah, because that was the last match that night, and then he beat Justin Wong the next morning. That night, though, when we went to bed, by the time we woke up the next morning, Twitter was a firestorm about him. It's like, this guy's cheating. He's been accused of cheating. He has a stick that breaks everybody's stuff. And again, they're having to explain everything. So he goes back downstairs, and they're like, "Dude, you're not allowed to use a stick." And he was like, "I asked you before I got here. I showed you my stick and what these buttons do." And they were like, "No, if we'd have known, we wouldn't have allowed the stick." He's like, "I showed it to you. I emailed you." The dude that used to run Evo was because he told him they allowed me to use it at Evo. Dude that used to run Evo was like, "That guy's a liar. I've never told him that." So he pulls up the email where he emailed Evo asking, and Evo was like, "Okay, sure." So he was like, "Oh."
Turns out I did
say that. Yeah, sorry about that.
I lied.
So, but he always did, because anytime he came to play down here, I used to always call it his cheating ass stick as a joke. But he would always just switch it out and use a plain old stick. So they finally was like, "Okay, we'll allow you to play." They were convinced he wasn't cheating, but it's like, you have to take those buttons out. You have to let one of the stick altering booths there, you have to let them take the buttons out. He was like, "Sure, I'll use whatever stick you want me to use." But sure enough, they go down there, they take those 2 buttons out. He uses his stick and promptly beats Justin Wong easily. And everybody was like, "Okay, yeah, he's just good."
Yeah. Like the idea of somebody having macros and stuff is wild. Like,
but that guy
cheating.
was just getting it. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's in the rules, but nobody ever thinks to enforce it.
See, that's what I was seeing on Twitter. That's why I was confused about, like, what were they actually banning? Because everybody's responses is like, "Oh yeah, we've those are all." Like, this stuff has already been in the rule books, and everybody's like, "What rule? Like, what are you talking about?" And like, yeah, there's actually a thing of like, you can't do this, that, and the other with your controllers. And people had just been like, he's like, it's because there's so many local tournaments, then there's so many regional tournaments that everybody's just like, "Oh, I mean, it's fine." Like, nobody's ever really bringing anything up. Cause also, nobody really complains about any of this stuff. So they're just like, "Oh, okay, well, this is
some
how
folks
it works."
don't even know about it,
Yeah,
or think to ask. So, but that's they didn't say outright that's why, but everyone knows that's why. They just don't want to deal with it. It's like, nope, if you're going to use a stick, it has to be a stick on there. period.
Yeah, the way they explained it was like you can only be able to input one direction at a time.
Exactly.
That's what Capcom said. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Input one direction?
Yeah, it's because when hitbox boxes first came out, that was like the big perk of it. You could store 2 or 3 commands at one time.
Oh,
So you could be moving forward and jumping everything, but charge back the whole time because it's always storing that command in there.
and see, we were always looking at the controllers as like, what's the most comfortable for us to play? It had nothing to do with like,
Yeah, that's the only reason I bought the stick that I got.
yeah. It's like,
Because I've grown up as a PC player since Counter-Strike,
Exactly.
and WASD just feels comfortable for me as putting inputs.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of folks were like. If that was SNK that made that rule, nobody would play SNK games because they all do it.
yeah.
They all do it. It's like the only way to play a KOF game at a higher level and stuff is kind of the cheat.
Because you got 17 extra directions and half of them KOF moves. But also, like, I felt like Street Fighter was moving into this thing. Maybe we should just start.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the whole thing now. Let's just start the intro. Do do do.
Yeah, you just do the intro thing.
Do do do.
Anyway,
Yes, that's what I want. I want that version. That's the intro of this episode. All right, this is episode 78. Winners Don't Use Drugs. Presented by Engage Gaming. Talking about fighting game stuff.
Yeah.
As we get closer and closer to the best fighting game ever, Street Fighter 6.
Multiples coming out this year, I swear. This is the
Man,
year of the fighting game.
No, but the SNK stuff with the button inputs is like they've always had like weird things about them anyway.
Well, yeah.
The pre-Capcom got the lock on controllers and stuff, but like Capcom felt like they were moving into this thing about like easier controls. So it's kind of weird, but it's like I know they're trying to do this balancing act of we want everybody to play the game, but we also want to try to make this big like competitive scene.
Well, yeah, this
bigger.
is competing, and you know how much money is up for grabs now. You know, folks are going to cheat, and so they're just trying to get rid of anything that can just curb any kind of complaints or arguments or.
How much of this stuff is going to still be online? Like I know there's some online stuff.
I don't know. I don't think they've said yet. If they're still doing like the online,
I'm going based on
sure
5.
I'm sure there's still online stuff, but I'm also sure there's going to be more in person stuff.
well,
this
you
year.
can't have online stuff if you're going to ban certain controllers.
Yeah, like
That's probably true.
unless they're going to be reviewing input data.
Well, unless they require you to be like on cam or something.
Which is
That's possible.
I mean, it's possible, but also at the same time, I feel like
if you want to do it,
I need you to have 2 cameras, sir. One camera facing you, one camera on the controller,
or just one camera that shows you and you on playing.
Yeah,
shows your hands, what you're playing with. But it's. I guess we'll find out when the pro tour starts back up.
Yeah, it's a weird, not a weird line, but it's a hard line now of them trying to do this because they were some of the earlier Street Fighter 6 stuff was all about look at these different control schemes, and everybody who was watching at the time was like, why would you do that?
Now they are going to allow the easier control method too, but most of the pros aren't going to use that stuff anyway, but some might.
I mean, usually the drawback is you can't do some of the more technical combos are usually harder to input on.
You lose like half of your commands because you don't have a light, medium, and fierce punch anymore. You only have punch, kick, and
special moves. Yeah.
So, but there'll be that guy out there that'll just he's really good at being able to move and block and everything. And just like if you make a mistake, punch, kick, that. And that's
true.
And it works. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, because I mean, with a game like Street Fighter as well, is if you can learn if you learn defense, which very few, like usually the best of the best pros can do defense and offense. But a lot of times, like a lot of these high offensive pro players, they end up losing. Like you mentioned Justin Wong, like one of his things is reason why I used to like him so much was like a lot of his defensive techniques were like kept him in the game a lot more than some other people.
Yeah.
It's like his ability, because like MVC3, for example, when everybody's filling up the screen with stuff, it was like he seemed so much more calm than anybody else dealing with all of that stuff, and then being like, oh, you missed that part. Yep, your particle went just a little bit above me, which I know I can slide in under. Now you in my combo, you know.
No, he's very much known as like very lame play style, which not lame as in bad, lame as in sit back and block and then yeah.
It's like he's like a counter puncher in boxing.
Yeah.
Which some of my favorite boxers are counter punchers, so that's why I like him.
Yeah.
Because, everybody, like the offense is flashy. You know what I'm saying? The offense is pretty. Everybody likes the offense, offense is cool.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships, man.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
That's right. Get you some sporty ball talking here, even when we ain't talking about sporty ball.
But yeah, I think it's just because there's just so much on the line. It's like, we're just going to avoid the whole conversation as a whole. And we're just like, no.
It sucks for people like me that have no intentions of using it for malicious ways. It was just more comfort.
Literally a comfort thing. Yeah. And it's like me playing a controller. I do it just not because I think I have an advantage. It's just like this. I feel better with this. If I'm going to play this, I want to feel as comfortable as I can.
And I definitely feel that because folks ask me, they see I play with a fight stick, and it's like, should I play with one of these? And I'm always like, you should play with whatever you're most comfortable with.
Now
I play with a fight stick because that's how I learned how to play the game. But I can't play Street Fighter on a pad anymore. But I can still kind of play the MVC games on a pad if I had to. But I do feel that for folks who just are more comfortable on a hitbox, and now it's like, well, I guess I got to learn to use something else.
Well, what about the accessibility to people?
Well, not even that. Like, I feel like I know I'm not going to go pro or anything.
But you want to try?
But I want to see how good can I get, and if I can't get good on a pad or a regular fight stick, it's like, what's the point?
Well, as long as you're not at a pro tour event, you're fine.
Yeah, but what if I want to go to CEO or something? I can't even use the controller that I practice on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to find out is like, what about these accessibility controllers? You know what I'm saying?
Fuck those people.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. It's kind of what it is, because they're saying like if your controller can do it, like you said, if your controller can do anything more than one direction at a time, or can be, like even if that person doesn't even know how to do it, if it's technically possible, then that controller is technically banned.
Yeah,
based on what they're saying, it's like, okay, this kind of starts to get into a gray area of like. Because if you have somebody who is special needs, right, and they get cleared to compete, but they're using the controller that's like technically can do that stuff,
maybe, and in that case, it's like, okay, but you have to use ours.
I mean, that's possible, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so where's the line? Like that,
I've done that before a long time ago when somebody wanted to use, because we used to do everything on Xbox, but sometimes somebody wanted to use a controller from like a PS1 or 2 or something. And so, but they want to use whatever they had. We had our own thing that you could plug in, and it worked with Dreamcast controllers, PlayStation controllers, Wii controllers, all kinds of stuff.
Converters.
Yeah. So it was like, that was the only thing. Yeah. It's like you had to use ours if you were to do it. So I know it's done and it's doable. Will they feel like having to take sticks that they know haven't been tampered with, and will these guys even want to play with it? I don't know.
Yeah, because they're like, I always think about, there's probably gonna be an exception. There's always a higher chance for an exception when you do the initial flat out statement, right? It's usually like, this is the statement, and then everybody, everybody has their chance to kind of argue their sides, and then there's a chance that the company goes, okay, well, we didn't foresee it going exactly that way, so here's how we compromise with it. And then it's like, okay, but then that kind of just opens it back up to go back to the.
It's like, I hate to talk about tax stuff here, but everybody that always says,
no, you don't. You like talking about.
We should go to, everybody who always says this. We should go to a flat tax rule or something like that. I'm like, give it 5 to 10 years, it'll be just as complicated, because exactly that. Well, wait a minute, I own a business that does blah 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 blah. Well, wait a minute. All of my income is, I don't have any active income, so I shouldn't be. And you know what? Then all of a sudden, tiny rules start getting in, and then it goes right back to what it was.
My business is only paid in jelly beans. So why do I get taxed 10% of my jelly beans?
Well, yeah, you still have to pay tax on the fair market value of the beans at the time of the transaction. So you should definitely
eating them now. You don't know how many it was.
They still have a value if they're eating or not.
You don't know how many I ate.
Yeah, now I feel like I purchased that stick, and now I don't even really know if I want to use it now.
Yeah, that's a
like
spot.
Fucking money just down the drain.
Yes, it's rough, and there's been some talk about it over the last couple weeks since they announced it. So,
well, it also kind of just
I didn't know they were banning things. I thought they were fundamentally changing the way that things work. From what I read, I didn't realize they were banning stuff.
It was very it was a very confusing way they kind of just.
I think they wanted it general like that, so that anything that can do this thing can't be used. And it just so happens that the most widely used thing that can do that thing that they specifically banned is the hitbox. So
I always felt like there's been this kind of contentious relationship with the hitbox. Like just the general FGC and the hitbox. Like there are people who are like just vehemently against the hitbox.
Some folks consider it cheating. Yeah, because it's too easy to do multiple things. If I'm on a stick, some folks complain that I have slower reaction times because I gotta go from here to here to here, and all you gotta do is two buttons down to forward when I gotta go from down to down forward to forward if I'm on a stick or a pad. But
don't get hit. Like I understand. Like this is the thing with. And this is gonna end up just being talking about FGC stuff. I don't care. A lot of people talk as if they're like one Hadouken away from the Evo Championship, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the way that they talk. They talk in these definites. Like if it was just for this one dropped input, you know what I'm saying, my whole life would be different. It sound like Uncle Rico on what's the damn thing? Guy with the curly hair.
Oh,
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, it's like you sound like if Coach would have just put me in, we'd have won state, no doubt in my mind. I'd be pro right now in the jacuzzi. It's like, dude, you're not there. You're never actually gonna be there. Not even because of the hitbox thing, just because you're not even gonna put the work in necessary to even get close to that, right? But they go.
I was just thinking, like, I can't even go to CEO with it.
Yeah,
Like I can't go to any like these major tournaments that you go maybe once a year. Yeah, I'm not gonna go to every single one because I'm gonna be a pro level, but I want to go to one a year.
I mean, yeah, you want to. We're part of this community. You want to experience some of the highlights of the community that year, and that's usually one of the ways to do it is to attend a major, and you can go, but you can't really.
You can't use your preferred controller now.
Yeah, so it's like,
and even though you have no intentions of cheating, they just ban the controller outright.
We banned the usage of the idea of what the controller.
I don't understand
what the controller can do exactly. what the controller could do. Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like them trying to destroy the Terminator because it might turn into Skynet.
Exactly.
That's why I just think it's so weird to people who are so like, yeah, it's about time that these hitbox people get they come up. It's like, bro, you're not losing to them because of that. Like this is not gonna your stock isn't finna rise up spots not even in your local scene. You're not finna rise up at all. Because a lot of these local people have already said that they don't care. Like they're like, dog, you can use it. Who cares? Like it's not gonna stop what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the big TOs need to take a stand against the tyranny of Capcom.
Well, the tyranny of Capcom was putting up over $2 million on Capcom Cup this year.
Capcom ain't that bad of a company when you think about it. You know,
no.
they do a lot of good.
Yeah, but I think it's just they don't want somebody suing them because they didn't win the $1 million because the guy that won was on a hitbox and they're going to swear everybody was cheating, but nobody asked at the time. But after the fact, yeah, I get it. I get the idea. It's like we just want to avoid just the whole thing. It's like no, just nobody can do anything that can do this.
Well, I don't see a lot of like big pro players being like, yes, this is a win for for the little guy.
Well, no, I mean everybody kind of feels the same because it does suck.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I mean, yeah. What about folks who use a hitbox? That's all they know how to use, and now they're like you. It's like, well, should I even compete now? Because now I got to learn something else. If I've only ever used a hitbox or whatchamacallit with the actual keys on it.
Mm-hmm. The mix box.
Yeah. If I've only ever used one of those, it's like should I even try?
Yeah, because one of the things that the FGC does that I don't think they realize they do is it's not like a generational divide, but there's always this assumption that like every person who is playing in a tournament, who has ever competed, who has watched the stream, has been playing since Street Fighter 2 or like at least MVC 2.
There's a lot of people that weren't even alive then.
I was about to say, most of them weren't even alive at Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, but they're like, yeah, why wouldn't you want to play on the fight stick? It's the best.
Oh yeah, people that come up with the controllers always get chastised, like looked down upon. Like you're not.
You know, you can't ever do a 4H52. You're like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And also, do you know how crazy you sound to regular people when you say things like that? Like, you want more people to do this thing, right? It only makes it better when there's more people. When you talk like that to somebody who was their first time ever showing up to any sort of event,
Yeah.
This is off-putting. This is super off-putting.
Super.
Like, you're not enlightening them the way you think you are, okay?
Yeah, in their head, they think they're making them better, but what they're actually doing is going, oh, I'm not doing this then.
Yeah, I don't fit it. Like, immediately, I don't fit in with these people.
I don't know what a 236P is.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Can't FADC, bro? You know how long it took me to learn what that meant? And I had Street Fighter 4 the day it came out.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
Dude, I was like, FADC? What is it? Focus attack, dash cancel.
Dash cancel.
Oh,
I didn't even know what it meant.
Dude, no.
I just knew what the move was.
Exactly.
And I still don't know how to do it to this day.
Well, you press both mediums and then you dash either forward or back. Just the dash cancels.
It's like, no, I was just playing with you. I'm going to dash up.
Which is always the worst thing to do against Honda because you're
like,
going to get hit.
You got like frame advantage or some random.
Oh yeah, there was always little.
So you could do like
there was different things that you can do. You can like fool somebody into trying to attack it.
Yep.
Like I said, it's a bad idea against Honda though because his headbutt is both an armor break and it'll hit you before you come out of the dash animation too. So it's like never do that in front of a Honda that's just holding down back.
Yeah.
Trying to get him to do something because if it was me, I'm gonna do something. All right, you about to get headbutted.
You know, there was a bunch of like little things about doing those things, like it's the EX FADC into Ultra.
Yeah,
that was like the
well, you uppercut.
Yeah,
dash can't cancel into super fireball. Yeah.
Like that was one of the things that, you know, when you started to try to get good, you had to learn how to.
That's kind of the first thing everybody learned.
Yeah.
That's what got you to learn how to use it. I never learned how to use it. I never used it until like maybe like my last few months in Ultra is when I finally started trying to use it. But I never bothered to learn it, and I did fine.
I could do it. I could do certain stuff like that with Akuma, like. But then when I started playing with like Gen and then DJ. I just never bothered to try. Like there were some things that he could do out of that, and I was just like, that's just not going to be part of my kit.
Yeah,
I'm just not comfortable enough, and I don't recognize the opportunities enough, and But anyway, I hope that there is some sort of consideration because the game isn't out yet, right? The tour hasn't started yet. Like none of this stuff is like set in stone. Remember they put out that thing about using Capcom's logos and stuff for tournaments and all that stuff. And everybody was like,
that's
hey,
true.
so do you not want us to use your game at any of our events anymore? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying. And they're like, hold on. So what we were saying is, we don't want you making people think that we're sponsoring the tournaments, but the games can be played there, and you can use characters and artwork and stuff. We just feel like people making money off us, and we're trying to figure out how we can not have y'all do that. But,
yeah, that's true.
So I think that there's going to be some sort of, maybe not necessarily complete change to what they're saying, but there has to be some sort of middle ground. Yeah, like because it's just like I said. I don't know what y'all saw, but all my responses I saw from like high level players were kind of like, "Hey man, this is kind of weird and like kind of not gatekeeping, but like you're kind of cutting off a portion of your player base that I don't think you're realizing is as big as it is. Because like all of I don't think
they're not trying to use a hitbox to cheat.
Yeah,
that's just what they're comfortable with.
Well, all of the like with Street Fighter V in particular, you got so much more PC player base built up, and it's like a lot of those people, believe it or not, didn't buy Street Fighter V and like a fight stick. The keyboard didn't morph into a fight stick when they loaded the game up.
Yeah.
They were playing your game with a keyboard and mouse. Like,
yeah.
well, not keyboard, not mouse in this case.
Yeah.
But like now I'm trying to play, you know, I got this mix box that does what I need. And you're like, no. No.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to what? August?
Yeah. And I think they're like, you said they're going to do their big live stream. I think if they're smart, and also if people aren't dickheads about it, like I think people can bring it up in that form in a way to kind of not just to be like, and that's why I said not be dickheads. I know they're going to be dickheads.
They're going to be super dickheads.
Yeah. I'm not buying, like the first comments, as soon as the stream starts, I ain't buying this game because I can't use my mix box. Fuck y'all. Welcome to the Capcom Street Fighter stream. Don't let it be some sort of mix box emote. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Spam.
Oh, you going to see.
Oh, I'm sure there's a stream that has one.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Someone's going to make a emote. It's just for the event.
Just so everybody will subscribe to them so they can have it for that stream. Shoot, I need to make.
I was saying it might be something. hey! Don't do that. Don't do what we say. That's crazy. Come to Doc DJ Dub to get the official Mixbox icon. Yeah, come on, spam it. You got time, Capcom. You're on the right track. This is a weird thing. It was a weird time to announce it. It's just, you know.
I think it's a good time to announce it. It's early enough to where they can gauge their response to see if there's anything
that's true.
need to be changed out of the feedback. Yeah.
Okay, so keeping with the theme of FGC, we're gonna look at some of the new Tekken 8 footage that
a bunch of different folks have
popped up over the last week or two.
Yeah.
Now, is this from when they actually did the behind doors test and they just getting it out now? Okay.
Yeah. So most of this gameplay comes from like early March, I believe. So
that's not too long ago, though.
Yeah. No, it's not too long ago, but there was an embargo on everybody that got to play it.
Okay.
So it's just because a lot of the characters in here hadn't even been announced.
Oh, that makes sense.
When they were playing them. So when I think it was after the June trailer came out, they were like, okay, go for it. Because they also knew they were going to show more characters at Evo Japan too.
Gotcha.
That weren't, well, yeah, they aren't playable at this point anyway. So once all the playable characters were announced is when they allowed them to put it all out. But like here we're seeing some
Critical
Jack
Arts.
8 and Kazuya action here, and Jack is just like straight mech. Now, it's funny too, because especially for Jack and somebody else, it's like you can kind of tell who may not be back because they have moves from other characters now.
Yeah.
Jack has a lot of moves of who was the big guy in 7 with the long arms, the crazy big.
You talking about Craig Murdoch, are you?
No.
You talking about the Muay Thai guy?
No, the red guy.
Dragunov? No.
Oh my God. The big freak guy that I would always make fun of everybody because they would talk about how Abigail looked so he looked so disformed, and it was like, oh, but this is fine, huh?
Oh, you're talking about Gumby.
I was waiting for the real answer. I'm so disappointed, but I'm also so happy you said that.
Oh, God damn, what is his name?
Yeah, I'm drawing blank.
I don't play Tekken, so
He was a new character in 7.
Oh, yeah,
I may or may not be what's her name's son too, the one that she's trying to find. The chick with the kicks and wears the sunglasses. She was also the new character in 7.
I gotta go back and play 7. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm drawing blanks on names for some reason, but either way, he has some of his moves, so he's probably not going to be back in this one.
Gotcha.
That's not necessarily true, but
I mean, with Tekken, they can always put people back in anyway.
You just did like a super move, right?
Yeah.
So do you not have a meter? I don't see a meter.
So when you get it's a lot like the last game when your bar gets down to a certain level.
I never played Tekken.
Okay, so when your bar gets down to a certain level, your bar will turn red. You see how his is
Yeah,
now?
like it's flaming.
Yeah. And so when it turns red, you have access to.
So it's like Mortal Kombat in the
X-ray.
X-ray moves.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. But and see, in the last game, once your life got down to a certain level, you either had the
Oh, well, what's the blue bar now?
Yeah, I'm
That
saying
just
it's like a
showed up.
power up mode that they got, but it only lasts. It only works until they get to a certain thing. Like once you use it once, it's gone. It doesn't recharge throughout the match or anything either.
Oh, so it's like burst.
Yeah, it's like a little power up mode that they, like some. It seems like everybody has this little like activation mode where your moves act slightly different. So moves that would normally just like do a hard knockdown, they do like this soft knockdown where you can continue combos out of it and stuff.
And this game has the heat in it, so now you'll see at certain points they'll do what is it, like the heat charge or something, like when basically in FADC you
They hit them and they dash through
and then you'll see them start.
Oh
running
yeah,
forward.
see now it says heat
there,
burst,
yeah,
heat smash.
right there, exactly.
So graphically, does this game look a ton better than 7?
Yes,
Yeah,
and anybody who says it doesn't needs to go back and look at 7 and then look at this side by side. Plus, I heard too, this is one of those games that, watching it on a, even a 4K YouTube vid, just won't look the same as when you see it with your own eyes.
yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot from is the actual, like, you actually get to play it and see it is like it is beautiful.
I don't know what it is. I've just never been a big fan of Tekken.
Tekken has gone through so many different versions too. Like,
yeah, this is definitely the biggest change they've had since like 5.
Maybe I'll try it.
yeah, maybe 4. Well, see, I always felt like 4 and 5, like 5 was just an improved version of 4.
Oh no, 5 was a huge improvement over 4.
I mean, it was.
4 they tried a lot of new stuff and it just didn't work.
I call Tekken 4 Big Tekken.
Big Tekken,
Because everybody got, like, the camera got zoomed in. Everybody seemed bigger and like, and like you said, they tried to do some new stuff, but like they changed
backgrounds with like obstacles.
Yeah, it was like
pillars in the way, and now you're fighting on a decline, so your punch just goes over somebody's head.
It was they were doing so much, and like I don't think anybody was ready or wanted it to do all of that.
They were really going for like the 3D feel.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, look, now we got uneven terrain, and now there's a pole in your way now, and it's like. Well,
I think they got
stuff just gets in the way.
I think they got scared of that the Xbox version. Not Xbox version, but what was the Dead or Alive that was on
DOA?
Was it 3? The Xbox one was. I think it was Dead or Alive.
The Xbox one was 3.
Yeah, but like, because I remember playing that and being like, "Oh, this is better than Tekken Tag and Tekken 3." And then Tekken 4 came out and it's like, "Oh, you were trying to do some Dead or Alive stuff, but this don't." Like you said, they tried to take what Dead or Alive was doing, which was like, oh yeah, the stages will progress and all this stuff, and they were like, what if we put you on the incline in the parking lot or the parking ramp? And I'm like, I'm kicking over his head.
Exactly.
Now. Just
no. Which was a thing also in DOA, but
never as severe.
But folks wasn't ready for it in a Tekken game. A game where 3 kind of defined what everybody expects out of the series, if not all 3D fighting games at that point. And now you just completely change it up.
It was like, all right, so you got Tekken 3, it came through, changed everything.
Yeah.
Tekken Tag was like, you like Tekken 3? Do it with 2 people at the same time.
Yep.
Everybody was like, oh, this is great. And then it was like Tekken 4 is coming. It's like, okay, so it's just going to look like a better version of Tekken Tag, but it's going to play like Tekken 3. And they were like, not really. Everybody's heavier now, super heavier.
So,
no, I really think that what they're going for with Tekken 8 is going to be really good. It won't. I still don't think it'll ever. I don't think any Tekken will be able to do what Tekken 3 did for the Tekken series. But
Law is their Bruce Lee character, right?
Yeah, and this one is back to Marshall.
It's Marshall Law. Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember they ended up putting Forrest in for a second, and that was just
Forrest was 3,
yeah,
and maybe 4,
yeah,
and I think by 5, I know the tags had them both, if I'm not mistaken.
They did,
and I want to say 5 had them both, but I may be wrong on that. But
no,
but it's basically been Marshall ever since. It's like most of the kid characters were pretty much gone after 5. they brought the originals back, except for Michelle Chang.
So they're just not doing Julia anymore, or was Julia DLC?
Julie was DLC in 7.
Okay, I thought I remember seeing her.
And
I definitely didn't keep up with Tekken 7 anywhere near as much as I kept up with any of the other Tekkens, just because I didn't play much of 6, but I played a lot of 5, and then they did that free one, and I was just kind of like,
Yeah, I played the crap out of 2. 2 was my game. And then 3 came out, and literally every character I played with was gone. Lee, June, Ganryu.
Well, they ended up putting 3. They ended up putting. Oh no, they put Lee in tag. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he eventually came back. Yeah, and that was tag.
Yeah. Then Genryu was gone for like 4 games.
He was gone for a while. Yeah,
which was funny because it was like, does everybody in Japan just not like sumo anymore? Because they just stopped. Like sumo characters just started disappearing from fighting games for a minute.
they did. And then Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle.
Yeah.
I think the original actually. What
No,
was,
the original- I was
was
the
he
original.
introduced in Team Battle?
I think he came back in Team Battle. Yeah, because
I think he was introduced in that game. The sumo guy. What's his name?
not Genryu.
Not Gary.
Yeah. It's like I already learned 2. Like
Or-
E Honda and Genryu, and I'm not learning another that sumo guy.
Are they having stage changes too?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, they
they're
kind
still
of
doing
they
that.
were kind of quiet about it at first, as far as the floor falling, because they kept showing the just when you knock them off to the side, and now they're starting to show the floor falling because people were wondering like, are you gonna take the floor thing out? Which I'm not the biggest fan of the floor collapse, and I don't know about you.
I mean, it doesn't really change anything. It's
That
still
was
the
like a
same.
round transition though, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Go see like the thing.
But it could have been just the groundbreaking too.
So the thing with the ground breaks on Tekken is like I felt like it was a cheap way to extend combos.
Yeah.
Oh no, this one it changed in between rounds.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know. I don't think they have the actual.
Oh, it was something that could happen
Like
during a
actual
match.
stage.
Yeah. So what?
Transitions.
Mm-hmm. So in like Tekken 7, you'd see a lot of combos where people just kept slamming somebody down, like
And
but
then it would
the
break the
combos
floor.
were making them bounce or whatever, right? And you do it like 3 times, and the floor would drop out, and then I start my combo over again, slam, floor breaks, combo again, and also you in the corner now, so you really not moving.
Yeah.
Like no, I'm not a fan of it.
So I keep seeing these like I don't want to say cut scenes, but they're like
They are. Yeah, you say it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so they've had all right. So it's not necessarily a new thing with Tekken, right? They've had people who like I'll start a combo and I'll end it technically like on a grab, where it'll go into like this little you can't do anything but watch the end of this combo. But now it seems like everybody has multiples of them.
and they're like in between everything.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because the way my understanding is the with the heat rushes, they extend from normal attacks. What they say, like they wanted it to be like in places that made sense. So, like in older games, you might do like a punch kick combo that sets them into a bound, so you can OTG them and then keep the combo going. But now they have the heat rush where it's like the combo may be slightly different now, but it's the same kind of thing, and it makes sense where you would do it, because now after the bound you can do something that sends them flying, and then it'll automatically send you into a heat rush where you then follow it up, and then you can do even more stuff. So that's kind of what everybody's saying. It's like at first it feels like something that's kind of that kind of simplifies it, but once you get your hands on it, you start to understand it more. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it just feels like, and it extends what I was going to do anyway.
Well, it's like it feels like a more easier way to do like what people did on the Dragon Ball Fighters, for example, where they would do combos and then you do you
do the dash,
and then that keeps it going.
Ended in the whatchamacallit, yeah. Yeah. There she goes, and now she keeps the combo going.
I do love what Nina's doing now, because I always just felt like her fighting style was never as cool as what they were trying to make the character seem like. And I think just the addition of her shooting guns now, because she's not just pop. It's like she's jumping, spinning, and doing all the extra
Matrix shit.
Yeah, there we go. Do some Matrix shit. And then she got sunglasses on now.
Yeah, they're definitely going more over the top, because I remember playing. Me and my brother were playing Tekken 3, and one of my uncles came over, who's like a black belt in Taekwondo and karate, I believe. He does all kinds of stuff. He comes over and we're playing, and he's just enthralled by the game. He's like, "That's a real kick. That's an actual this," and he's naming off the moves as we're doing them. Now, of course, I started playing with Jack, and he's like, "Okay, well, obviously that's fake," but
go back to the martial artist.
Exactly.
Okay?
And that's kind of what the game's always been kind of known as, is kind of more grounded in reality, as much as a guy that turns into a demon and shoots a beam out of his head. But the martial arts itself is, has been,
every character had to be based on actual fighting styles,
more or less. Yeah,
as close as they can. Because even when they started doing like the Craig Murdocks and stuff, it's like, well, he's a combination.
Well, he's
Val Tudo, so it's like it's technically just submissions and punches and kicks.
But this one, they seem like they're going a little more. They're going a little more anime.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is there. Let's just put it over the top now.
Yep.
I got a question. So in the original trailer, we saw Jin and whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And they did like some clash thing. Is that not in the actual game?
So some of the earlier footage, it kind of showed it, but you don't really see it. I want to say, because I watched a lot of footage, but I can't remember if you actually saw it. You'll see like
once in a while
the camera move or zoom in or kind of go to a different angle, but you don't see the slow motion as two of them are doing the move at the same time.
Yeah,
but they have shown it before.
Oh, they did. They just showed that.
Yeah.
Right here.
Well, this is a super move, so.
Oh, right before this.
Yeah. They did like a clash of. Keep going back.
Is that right after this? I think they did.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was like, if that's all it is now. It's not like some actual big thing.
What, like when?
Wait, when did they do it? I literally just saw them do it.
Yeah, I thought I saw it too.
It must have been earlier.
I just don't think it's happened. Like the way the trailer made it seem.
I've definitely seen it.
The way the trailer made it seem like it was happening all the time.
Yeah, I don't think it happens all the time, because in 7 it only happened if it was a move that might end the match.
Yeah, it used to be like the kill hits, and so it was just always like,
and it was always hilarious if the hit missed, and then the game went over. So you're thinking, oh crap, it's over. Oh wait, it's not over.
I saw it.
Well, it's kind of like in Smash where they do like where it looks like you're gonna.
Oh yeah,
they
but it's not dead yet. Yeah,
there was gosh, it was whatever was like a couple like what's in December, the big tournament. Is it December or November? But it was like the end of last year, and it was they were playing Tekken 7, and it was like top 8, and it came in like both of them getting ready to hit each other, and they both miss, and everybody was like,
yeah, it's always great. But I know I've seen it.
I don't think it happened. Footage. I always felt like in the trailer that there was no way that those hits were going to be, like the zoom in hits were going to be happening that much, because it just felt like they were
probably not that much. Plus that's probably, I bet you anything, you'll see it a lot in the
story,
in like the story mode.
Yeah,
to make it more.
That's the one thing about Tekken we hadn't talked about that I'm hoping that they do, is that like Tekken story has never been like the best, but there's been some things that have been cool about it. But they also do weird ways of presenting their story. Like they've had a beat 'em up mode called Tekken Force mode that was super popular, and it was a good way to like present some of the story elements, and then they were just like never again.
Yes, never did it again.
Yeah. And so it's like, I hope that they take this game and they give us more of some original, like, make your story mode stand out. Let's not just do arcade mode and get an ending.
Well, I hope it's got a better like arcade mode like than 7 did, because 7 had a good story mode. It was okay.
Yeah.
But then after that, so all the main story is in that one mode though, but they put other little endings for other characters, but it was like you only played like two or three fights, and then you got their ending, and then you just kind of moved on.
I don't understand why these 3D fighters don't just copy Mortal Kombat story.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think the couple of folks that tried and failed miserably,
who
just kind of put everybody else off. Street Fighter tried it.
Soul Calibur tried it too.
Soul Calibur tried it.
Street Fighter tried to win
5.
Yeah, they just did a
They
really
didn't
bad.
have it. when it came
Eventually,
not when it came out, but eventually,
eventually they tried to put like
did
the anime
put one
stuff
in.
into it. And
Yeah,
they just
it's just everybody's like, okay, no, NRS is really the only one that's good at this.
Well,
that's kind of their thing now.
What makes it so good is essentially, especially for new players, it lets them try different characters.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's great too, but it's like
nobody else can figure out how to implement it.
No one else can figure out how to do it as good as NRS does. It's just they just can't from the Injustice and the Mortal Kombat.
Even with Injustice, like they literally just copy pasted their formula to a large degree.
How do you not just implement it?
So Namco, whether they'll admit this or not, they like to try things in Soul Calibur before they put it in. Yeah. So they've tried Soul Calibur story modes like 3 different Soul Caliburs. Like they even made one that was on the Wii that was literally just really a story mode.
Just a story mode, yeah.
And it's like NetherRealm has a formula and it works and it should be able to be copy and pasted without it being like, oh, you're just doing Mortal Kombat, right? But these companies, sometimes it looks like they get so scared of being seen as copying somebody that they try to reinvent it their way, and it's bad.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, copy and paste that shit. That's my same gripe with MMOs in the arena, where they keep trying to change how arena is from World of Warcraft, and it's like, bro, just copy the same thing.
Just do it.
Just they have the formula. It's right there.
It's right there.
Just do it.
Well, like, so Soul Calibur used to have a story mode, or Soul Edge had a story mode that was like very different and was really good.
Yeah,
and it was the PlayStation version,
the
right?
Original game, yeah.
So it was like called like Soul Edge mode, and you were going like it was a story mode, but you would collect weapons from every person you fought.
Yes.
And it was like it was
great.
My 365 days of gaming episode was literally about how come y'all ain't done this again.
Seriously,
like just do this again.
It's like the closest they got to it was Soul Calibur 3.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation that had like that overworld and you could move the characters on like the map and stuff like that. And 3 still had the best create a character mode too, because they had move sets that weren't already characters.
Yeah, they had like actual created characters could have original movesets.
Yeah.
Instead of being like,
and no game did that since.
You want to just do Keelik? You want to have Keelik, right? You like Maxi, you want to do nunchuck stuff, so just make your dude do nunchuck stuff.
And so that's all you got. Where 3, I could make what's his name again?
I made a hand-to-hand dude that didn't play like Heihachi.
Exactly.
It's like I want a hand-to-hand combat guy, and I don't want a Heihachi.
I want a guy with 2 nunchucks, just like Lee Long. How about this? Just bring Lee Long back.
You gotta let that go, bud. Okay, people. For some reason, I don't get it, but some reason people like Maxi. So, he's a dude that uses nunchucks and does back. You know enough about Soul. Yeah,
but Lee Long was the original, and he had 2,
and he was better.
He
also doesn't have a Elvis type haircut like a douchebag like Maxi.
Yeah, but that's what the kids like, I guess.
No, they didn't like that. They never had a choice. No, I do really hope Tekken like goes in on their story mode. Just go all the way, man. Don't just think this is good enough. Honestly, that's what I want from specifically fighting game makers. Don't just do what's good enough.
Oh yeah, definitely. And thank God, now that Capcom is kind of trying to take the reins and drag everybody ahead, everybody's going to be like, well, we can't just do this anymore, because when 5 came out and they only did that, everybody saw.
You notice how the bottom line of everybody's fighting game went down? They were like, we only have to do this, right? That's cool.
Well, or everybody saw it as a way to, well, we can actually one up Street Fighter now, which is a sad thing, but that's kind of what everybody did.
They did and they didn't.
Yeah.
Like you being better than 5 vanilla isn't the flex you think it is.
That's true. But then NRS was able to come out and just keep doing what they were doing, but just do it at a higher level, and kind of like they're kind of the de facto. This is what every fighting game should be now.
Yeah,
not necessarily gameplay wise, but content wise.
Exactly,
they were kings.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't even close.
Between the story mode and the crypt and just like all the little stuff they did with
stuff
it.
That you could do in the towers that change every few days, and
the customizations of the characters.
Yeah.
Which I know Mortal Kombat probably won't do it, but I thought 11 was going to take Injustice 2's inventory system and put it into 11.
So apparently a lot of folks didn't like that
God, you guys suck.
from Injustice 2.
You didn't have to do it. Like you didn't have to.
Yeah,
but it was really cool. I can make my dude look different. He looks like I want to look.
Yeah, you could turn off the perks and still look cool.
Yeah.
But it was a little off-putting when you're fighting Blue Beetle and he looks like Batman, and in your head you're waiting on Batman moves. But he's doing Blue Beetle stuff, and
that's NetherRealm's fault.
That was kind of a thing.
Oh no, it was. I trust me. I definitely know. Dudes are trying to make their Green Lantern look like Sinestro, and
yeah,
it's like, come on, man. It's
like, I gotta wait on rocks to come down now. Oh wait, this isn't him. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll bet you anything too. The main reason this game ain't coming out this year is because they probably still have to do all of that stuff, the offline content.
They got better with the customization stuff too.
Yeah,
when like 7 had a lot of like you didn't have to buy this, you can unlock stuff and use points and all of that. Like they were on the Tekken's on the right track. There was not enough capacity for it for 7, but I feel like with 8, especially coming out next year, allegedly, it'll give time for the other things to settle in. Because I'm still like, Street Fighter's probably gonna be king this year. NetherRealm will still probably give us the best solo campaign, and
probably
the other games will have to get in where they fit in.
I'd like to see what we haven't seen anything on Mortal Kombat.
I'm thinking Summer Games, because if he said it's coming out this year, we have to see it.
Yeah, it pretty much has to be. Yeah.
And I bet you if Mr. Keeley is doing what I think he probably should do, or what he probably most likely is doing, which is trying to have kind of what they did before, and it seems like this is kind of the direction. You have the ones where it's, certain times are still going to be reserved for the heavy hitters to get their stuff in. Mm-hmm. I think, NetherRealm will probably get a full presentation of, we'll probably get that cinematic fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero again for like the 7th time, but then it'll transition into the actual gameplay like they always do with the Mortal Kombat trailers. Mm-hmm. Like they're running through some forest or something and at some temple, and then it's like, oh, life bars.
Oh, this is the game.
Okay, we're fighting.
Yeah.
But
speaking of more FGC stuff, I don't know if it was at Evo Japan or it was just in Japan and in general. The Riot did a closed doors thing with Project L, and they didn't allow any recording, but they did say that they can share information that they did. And GamerB TW was there, and he released a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna kind of go through that right now. So this is all Project L stuff. Basically, it says he was invited to the Project L banquet held by Riot, and let's see. It says Project L aims to pass on the fighting game genre to the next generation, increase fighting game community, but that does not mean that it will abandon old players. Therefore, Project L will be a game that allows players to put all of their passion into it, but they also don't want to set the threshold too high and scare off new players. It's also confirmed that the game will be free to play.
Boom. That's a big thing. I'm telling you.
I mean, we all kind of knew it, but
yeah, of course.
But now that it's confirmed.
That it's confirmed now, yeah.
The game is still far from closed beta stage, let alone release.
That was the biggest kind of like,
yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure, honestly.
It's still a ways off.
I'm sure we'll get a beta beginning of next year. Mm-hmm. Like first half of next year.
I think 2024 is Project L's window.
The speculation I heard is like you may not see a beta until like next fall. But that's
if Riot does a beta, the way they do betas is also kind of like, I mean, technically League was in beta for a very long time.
Same with Valorant.
Yeah,
and Valorant was pretty much a complete game when they did a beta. So usually, honestly, yeah, that makes sense. So fall would make sense because you'd get a beta and then probably a month later it'd be released.
Yeah.
If they go by what they've done in their previous games.
Mm-hmm. Like we might end up, there's a possibility with the way Riot does stuff, we either get the Valorant version where it goes up then goes down, or might get you can start playing now and then
one day it's just going to be out.
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be like, hey,
like League of Legends.
yeah, we're going down for maintenance for the next day, and then boom, it's officially out. Here's all the stuff. Get at it.
It's confirmed to be a 2v2 tag game. They want to create a 2v2 game with speed, distinct visuals, powerful attacks, and an easy to understand defense and counter system. This system should be easy to pick up, but also have a depth for research. Project L will be a permanent version of a fighting game, officially called a live service, which means that it won't be a sequel, but continuous updates, much like League of Legends and Valorant.
Yeah, which what we all
you won't have to get a different version of it by the arcade edition, then Ultra, then all of that.
They're just going to keep. They're probably just going to keep releasing characters. They have over 140 characters to choose from.
Plus any characters they decide to just make up for the game, because I don't know how much people pay attention to like stuff they do with like Runeterra. They not even making up characters, but they take other characters from the lore that aren't characters technically in League.
League of Legends brought in a character that was made for Runeterra.
Yeah.
Which was fucking what's his name? Yone?
Yeah. Yep.
Yone first appeared in Runeterra, and then he became a character in League of Legends.
So I don't doubt that we may see some overlap. I know we haven't seen any overlap between League and Valorant, but
they've already came out and said that Valorant is a completely different world.
Exactly.
So.
But everything else that has the crossover with League, you've seen stuff be done just for those platforms to go into League. Even Arcane had a character that debuted on there and ended up being put into TFT stuff.
Where was I? They will integrate the world of League of Legends into the fighting game perspective, adding new elements and selecting characters suitable for the fighting game. With over 140 League of Legends characters and a 2v2 system, there are infinite possibilities for character combinations. In the demo video, there was a move called Retreating Guard, which cancels backdash while in defense. If the opponent swings and misses, I can't read that part.
They can be countered by attacking from a farther. And it
go to the next.
There you go.
I should have just done that. They can be countered by attacking from a farther distance if they anticipate the retreating guard move. This means retreating guard was an unavoidable vulnerability, or has an unavoidable vulnerability.
Yeah, early balance stuff, It
was like the FADC I talked about before. If you were dumb enough to do that against E Honda.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be some characters where you're not gonna want to do certain stuff. It's just
it's something you want to bait out.
Yeah.
To make them open themselves up. Is like, okay, I'm going to attack. No, I'm not now, and now you're wide open. So yeah,
you fool.
Normal moves can be canceled into jump chain combos or a ground chain combo. That includes it to a launcher move, then a jump to continue the combo, which is similar to
Marvel's Capcom.
Marvel's Capcom stuff.
Which they showed some footage of stuff like that with Echo and Ari and Darius, where people were doing more grounded combos. People were doing launches into air combos and stuff. So
there will be many defensive systems, but they have not been showcased yet. I heard that there's not going to be blocks, like your traditional blocking system.
Yeah, I remember we heard something about that really early into its development, that there wasn't a traditional block.
I mean, as far as I know, there's blocking.
That's what I heard. I don't know where.
We haven't seen HUDs or anything. There could be like a block meter. Because I know that's kind of sometimes what they do.
Like a guard meter,
to mitigate people just blocking infinitely. You institute some sort of meter.
Mm-hmm. When calling for character assistance during a combo, players can switch characters indicated by a yellow flash, and the original character will exit the stage, allowing for a secondary character to enter. Veteran players need not worry, as Project L will not be a game that is too easy. There will be depth for skilled players to explore. It seems like
that's what they always say.
Yeah,
I mean, you already know they got to walk the tightrope. You got to make the game accessible if you want to capture a big player base, but you can't make it too easy, because then
you'll have no competitive side.
So and
you need both.
I have heard that he might say it here or said it somewhere else, but there aren't like you don't do like a down to down, forward to forward, and button to do like a fireball. It's forward and a button, back and a button, down and a button, which is
DNF Duel.
The DNF Duel, yeah.
DNF Duel does so that. You had a special button.
It sounds like they're going the DNF Duel / Grand Blue.
Yes,
kind of
that's
way,
the other one. Yep.
Where they're making a fighting game that hopefully fighting game players will like, but players of League or anything else can easily jump into without having to learn all the intricacies
free to
of
play.
a fighting game.
You and your buddies can like, hey, I don't want to play League today. Let's just jump in and play some Project L.
Yeah.
You make a room and get at it.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing I think is really important.
You don't have to be very versed in fighting games. You can just jump in and play it.
And I'm assuming the expectation is people will be able to play it on a keyboard easily, which is probably why they have the left, right.
Just the motions, yeah.
Yeah, because
or the lack of motions, just a direction and a button.
But I know probably another thing is, too, if somebody's playing League and they jump into Project L and they play their favorite character in that game, you want it to be so that they can make those moves that they use in the game and League come out in Project L without having to learn, quarter circles and, 5H, 2K.
720s.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you play Darius, you probably got to do
it. And he said there's no cooldown, too. I think he might talk about it here, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. There's no cooldowns.
There's no cooldowns for the
because there is a fighting game there that has cooldowns. What was it?
Grand Blue.
Yeah, Grand Blue and I think DNF.
There's another one that
they have that mana.
DNF has the mana, yeah.
There was made mention specifically that it wasn't going to be like, it was some very niche. I don't even think it came out.
Okay.
But anyways, there will be 3 attack buttons for light, medium, and heavy attacks, along with other combination keys and directional input for special effects. There won't be any moves that require specific input commands, as all moves will be button and direction combinations.
I bet you it's going to have the DNF button scheme, light, medium, heavy, special move, which also technically Blaze Blue has that too.
But they also have like quarter circles and stuff like that. There won't be any CC skills like in League of Legends, but it will be presented in a different way.
What's a CC?
Crowd control. So like stuns, slows, which also means that
roots.
You probably won't. Yeah, roots. Yeah.
Anything that makes you lose control of your character.
Okay.
Well, like when they showed the Darius thing, I remember they showing him do the pull, and he just used it to like extend the combo.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Which doesn't really CC you. It's just you're in the combo.
Yeah, it's technically it's hit 3 in the 5-hit combo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There will be pro esports environment, and some may worry that official tournaments will displace community events. Therefore, there will be a limit on the official tournaments, and community tournaments can use L to organize project events.
That's going to be good. So we'll be able to do the same thing. Like if you do a League tournament, you can set it up to where they get prize support based on if you get X number of entries and stuff, probably.
Yeah, because like in League of Legends, you can set up tournaments and they'll give out skins and points that you can use to buy stuff.
Yep. That's cool. Just because you had X number of people
show up.
Yeah.
2v2 fighting games have always been difficult to succeed, but they still want to give it a try. Even if people don't like it at first, they can continue to update it until everyone is satisfied. The cooldown system, that's what it is. The cooldown system in Rising Thunder will not appear in Project L because
what the hell is Rising Thunder?
It was a game that didn't come out.
That was the game
Riot?
that no, it was by a different company that Riot bought.
Oh,
and it was in like a beta phase, I believe, because I remember Ace told me about it and tried to get me to play it. And the week I finally went to go download the game, they took it down and then announced that they had been acquired by Riot. And I was like, "What the hell is that?"
I had to look up the game.
No idea.
So those people are probably helping on that game.
Oh, that Riot bought them. This was 4 or 5 years ago now. And Riot bought them because they was like, "We want to make a fighting game. Who's making a fighting game? These guys, buy them." And
Riot Forge, man,
and that's where we've been ever since. But yeah, I never even got a chance to play that game because they bought them before I had.
So they had cooldown a chance moves.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah. Like I had to look that up. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck Rising Thunder is. I never heard of that
folks
shit.
Loved it. Folks thought it was like a really good game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
hopefully they implement.
And so everyone, when they found out that this game was being made, everyone kind of assumed it was going to play a lot like that game.
Yeah,
but it's completely different.
Yeah,
they just took elements from it, probably.
As far as I can tell, no, because that game was like if you were like it was 3D-ish, it was like 2.5D, and it was robots.
Oh, okay.
Fighting. So I mean, it was
robots
different.
do have cooldowns, so that makes sense.
But it did have the easier commands and the just forward and punch will do like a special move or something.
So
like
I feel like they probably took some elements of what they were doing.
They probably took those elements, but I mean, if you put both games side by side, you wouldn't think they're the same game. Like not at all.
All right. Someone asked about the things that make opponents hate low height characters and whether Teemo will appear.
That's a good question.
And the official answer is that you are good at guessing.
But not giving a direct answer.
But not giving a direct answer. So
like,
we probably won't see Teemo then.
You know what's probably they're probably gonna have a Yordle, but they probably won't be. It won't be like Teemo or
It's probably like Rumble.
Rumble is a perfect character for a fighting game.
Or Gnar.
Gnar is probably Gnar could be really good with the transforming. Yeah, that would be. Or even Kled with the riding the thing and doing like some moves go through the animal and some moves go through Kled. Yeah, you don't play League, so you don't.
I know of Teemo, but that's it. That's seriously the only character I know.
It's probably because he's in a lot of promos.
Yeah, he's one of their popular characters.
Back at the comic book store, Chris started getting in the league, and that's the character he always played. So.
He's one of those people.
That's all I know.
Hey, we team Teemo over here.
I guess he was like brand new at the time. I don't
Never underestimate the power of a scout.
No, I think Teemo's been around since
Alpha, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's one of
I could be misremembering. It's been so long.
Nah, he's one of the OG characters.
2013 when he started playing it. So.
Yeah. Teemo was when we started playing. Brand had just came out.
Yeah,
I always remember that because it was like the Human Torch guy.
No.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only name I know because, like I say, Chris would play him. And you always talk about him. So.
So long, man. League has been over 10 years, though.
It's been a while.
That's kind of sad though, because that means a lot of Yordles are going to be not playable unless they figure something out.
I mean, they could always adjust. There's certain things they could adjust about them to make them playable. I just think they're trying to, at least right now, avoid the wackiness of like MVC2, where like roll and all of them and server bot, because that was kind of like.
Well, I mean, they aren't saying that they aren't going to be in the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, that what that answer feels like is like, okay, right now you're probably not going to see. Unless you see like Rumbles, because Rumble's inside of a mech suit, so it's like he's basically normal size.
He's a Yordle, but
height wise, he's gonna be the same size as like Nasus or somebody, unless they do like real heights where it's like, okay, so Malphite can't be in the game because he's a literal walking mountain, so he can't be in it. Not even Aurelian Soul can't be in it because he's a dragon the size of a galaxy or something stupid.
But in League of Legends, he's the same size as everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but Teemo and all the Yordles are not.
Yeah, so. that means no Heimer.
Yeah,
that sucks. And play with Ricky's dad.
But Riot's esports competitions are not famous for high prize money, but they are professional regions around the world where players can earn salary to live on. Therefore, L hopes to make players become stars instead of simply giving high prize money, because star players can earn more money through endorsements and sponsorships.
They're basically saying, we know most of you FGC dudes is broke.
Basically.
Like, so but you partner with Riot though, and like, the brand is strong.
I wonder if they're going to do something similar to what they do with Valorant and League.
Of course they are.
It's just a little bit different because it's not team based.
Exactly. That's what I think they're kind of trying to temper expectations to be like, look, there's gonna be esports stuff, but you do realize that like single player stuff and like just like I said, just fighting games in general, they have to like set the expectation. It's like you're not gonna be competing for a meal in Project L, especially when it starts. Like, let that go, bud.
Project L believes that rather than having big competitions at the beginning, they hope to first ensure that players are satisfied with the game and then focus on building the esports environment. Project L hopes to create a game that players can identify from their actions, so there may be summoner skills for players to choose from.
That'll be interesting.
I didn't even think about that.
That'll be really interesting. All right, so Nolan and also people who don't play League. So summoner skills are abilities that you as the player get no matter what character you use. So, for example, one of the common ones will be Flash. Flash allows you to teleport a certain distance. You can use that to go through terrain and things like that, but it has a really long cooldown. Another one could be like teleport to a tower. Now, obviously, that's not going to be a thing because...
Well, I think that what you might see as summoner skills aren't going to be anything that you would see in League of Legends.
True.
It could be like, hey, I get burst.
Yeah.
Or instead of burst, I get the ability to parry or something like that.
You could do stuff
because they
like,
talked about having many different defensive systems. It might be your summer skills might be your defensive system.
Yeah, that's true. You could. And in theory, you still could use some of the summoner skills.
Yeah, you could.
Like, let's say you had a heal or a
Ignite.
clarity or ignite, where like for the next X amount of time you're doing extra damage, or like can't get there.
You're doing burn damage.
Even if you swap out, you still can't get that health back or something. There's a lot of little wrinkles they could do to it, taking elements from that. That's kind of a very interesting thing to see. Makes me think about MVC1 with the assist characters.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, depending on what assist character you had in MVC, they had X number of uses. So, like, Juggernaut, you got what, like 3?
I think 3, yeah.
But then, like, Colossus, who was very similar, you got 4. So a lot of people went with Colossus because they both did like a shoulder charge kind of interrupt type of ability. But like 4 is better than 3. But then if you had somebody like Unknown Soldier who like does like the spray gun and kind of fills up the screen, you got like 8 of those.
Arthur.
Yeah, throw some lances at you.
Both characters have to be KO'd to win, and each game will have at least 2 rounds.
Yeah, so you got to defeat both opponents, and there's rounds.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, kind of mixture.
I wonder how fast the games are. Then.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is
what's the damage output?
Getting into like Street Fighter cross Tekken territory where like every game ends in a timeout because you have to kill two opponents, even though in that game you only had to kill one. You just keep tagging out.
Yeah.
But the damage output was so relatively low.
It was.
So yeah, there's some balancing to do there with it being round based, and both opponents have to die to win the round.
And we don't know like if you tag in somebody, or like when you do the assists, can they take damage? Or is it going to be? You would assume, right? Like,
I would assume so.
But are they going to take like more damage when they're on assist mode? Because that's the thing with like MVC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You take more damage.
I know they can take, because I think we've seen a clip where
somebody hit
an assist.
So it's like that's one of the ways you kind of fix it to where if your character's being in assist mode and getting hit, they take exponentially more damage. And if you have ways to like bring in, like, because that's another thing too. Like, can you snap in?
Mm-hmm.
These are all little things that we get to see.
I did like that in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Snapping in.
Yeah, because it was a way of countering the Dark Phoenix tech.
Yeah,
is you snap in Phoenix right away and get rid of her, so you don't get level 3 X Factor Dark Phoenix going ham.
I know
on
you're
your
blocking,
team.
right? And that's cool that you're blocking, but my moves do so much damage alone. But then we add X Factor to it. I'm eating your health away as if you're not blocking. So you're gonna sit in the corner doing advancing guard, you're dead.
All right,
good times.
So we got 2 more pages of this, and we don't have a whole lot of time left. So let's just kind of run through this. The comeback system, when only one character is left to be hit, has not yet been decided whether to be made, such as X Factor, depending on which one players prefer in future voting, with or without a comeback elements.
Yeah.
Depending on which one players prefer.
It's a translation.
Yeah, I feel like they're making it seem like we're going to get a chance to vote. We're probably not going to get a chance to vote. They may use player feedback, but I don't think it's going to be an outright, do y'all want X Factor vote, yes or no?
I mean, they may just do a straight build where one has it and one doesn't. They say which one you like better when they come up with one. So
different regions will have different servers, so players close to the server will have better connections, unlike other fighting games that only use peer-to-peer.
So no rollback.
No.
Is all I'm hearing there. Go ahead.
There is currently no consideration for a character leveling system like League of Legends, but it may be added if players like it. Project L hopes to create a game where players can interact with each other in a conversational way rather than characters being overly violent and causing the weaker side to be completely unable to act. This will also be a live service game, so player dissatisfaction can be adjusted with patches. So there's going to be balancing all the time.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of. I mean, they're really good about, as much as they can, letting the community kind of give a lot of feedback.
Regarding combos, Project L hopes that players will be rewarded for difficult combos, but they do not want combos to be too long and make the losing side feel hopeless and uninterested.
Who doesn't love a good TOD?
Yeah. Every now and then. And folks will find it too. Because don't forget, MVC3 was supposed to have no infinites.
Competition organizers do not have to worry about Project L. Oh, wait, don't have to worry because Project L will be able to hold the game in the same event as other fighting games. Good God. Players do not have to worry because becoming a professional Project L player will not prohibit them from playing other fighting games. They are working hard to coordinate with PlayStation, hope to create a fighting game with the same input lag across all platforms.
Yeah, I know that was the other big thing everybody picked up on too. Is like, yeah, can we? Is like, that's what everybody wants. Stop putting it in there saying, well, maybe they won't know. It's the first thing they are going to check. Okay, what's the input lag? Oh, this is 8. This is the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. It's like, just fix it out the bat, please.
Yeah.
You know what everybody's going to do. So,
is there a problem with PlayStation right now?
Usually it's got the worst input lag when it comes to controllers. And I hear a lot of times that's more like games built like on Unreal Engine already has it built into it on top of PlayStation's whatever the hardware will do as well. So generally PC will have the least and then PlayStation will have the worst.
Excellent.
So
I'm very hopeful for Project L.
Yeah.
We'll
see how
it looks cool.
They haven't done us wrong yet, and they continue to, at least in theory, get people who know what they're doing and give them the resources and stay out the way.
Yeah, and they seem to be doing just that. I mean, I know they got the help of a lot of folks that worked on a lot of the older games and played the older games and knew what made like MVC 1 and 2 great and kind of going off of that. So
that always builds confidence with me when I hear them reaching out to, people of that knowledge.
Yeah. Although it's not always so great because we had a lot of pro players give input and help make Street Fighter V end well.
Well, there's always a negative to too much of that. Like, with Call of Duty, they were talking about.
Yeah, but Street Fighter V, the problem with Street Fighter V was just the lack of content.
No, it had a lot of it had a lot of other issues besides the gameplay.
They had budgeting issues and not enough time
at the end. Yeah, because they had to scrap what they were making and start all the way over.
But like we play Call of Duty, there's a map Tarak where nobody I know likes the map, but not Activision. Whoever, which one that made this one, was like, yeah, we used the input of pro players to design this map specifically. It's like, yeah, it feels like it. Feels real pro playerish, real sitting in the back and sniping.
What map is that?
Huh? Tarak. The one where it's like the kind of desertous area, but it's like all the buildings are broken up.
Oh, I actually like that map.
Yeah, that Counter-Strike ass map out of here. Go play Dust 2 on Counter-Strike. I don't want it in Call of Duty.
Has nothing like Dust 2. I'm confused.
I stand by my statement. I was playing. I just thought about the only Counter-Strike map I know the name of. I associate pro players with first-person shooters with Counter-Strike.
Anyways, that's going to be it for us this week. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Make sure you check out our YouTube. I don't know what we're doing with our YouTube. It's now on our main Engage Gaming.
They put a podcast feature in the YouTube. Now it's all weird.
Yeah. So
I got an email about something.
Yeah. It's all weird now.
So now it's on our main YouTube, and I've pretty much scrapped the other YouTube because I don't want to keep uploading to different channels, and I'm just like whatever. So, but make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube. Finger blast that bell icon. You get our podcast plus a bunch of different video notifications.
Yeah, man, enjoy the content. You know what I'm saying? Watch
Steven
Steven get cooked in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, there you go. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Crossover combination.